Hello, this is Archie Dunlop with Talking Astrology with Archie on Sunday, May the 28th, 2023. Today, I'm just going to talk about today. I'm not going to be talking about current events. I'm not going to be talking about weird subjects that I might be interested in, but you might find completely boring. But I should point out that in many respects, I do regard this type of video as being very intermediate. I mean, kind of ideally, what I would do is I would have 12 videos each day covering each of the 12 signs. Maybe I'd have 5 minutes each video, but that is gonna, or it would, be a lot of work. I do know how much work it is. I did spend 12 years of my life as a sun sign astrologer. I had a contract with a cell phone company. It's hard work pushing out sun sign forecasts every single day of the week. And I think with only 280 something subscribers, at least was the last time I looked, I'm not sure if I could really justify it. Maybe if I had 100,000 subscribers, perhaps. But anyway, I'm just saying that perhaps to encourage you. If you really want me to push out 12 videos a day for each of the 12 signs, then I suppose you probably better subscribe if you're not subscribing already. I had to put that in. Anyway, let's talk about today's astrology. So, let's see what's going on. Here it is. This is the astrological picture for today, which is Sunday, May the 28th, 2023. And today will be better than Saturday. If you remember yesterday, I was really down on what was going on. That was because the moon was making an opposition to Saturn. You'll see now that the moon is at 18 Virgo, Saturn is at 6 Pisces. So the moon is moving away from the opposition of Saturn. In fact, it's now trine Mercury and it's making a trine to Uranus. So there's going to be more excitement. It's going to be easier to communicate. And if we want fun things to happen, perhaps they can happen. Perhaps if we socialize, unlike yesterday, we can get some good results. So in that sense, it is an easier day. Nonetheless, I should point out that the sun is making a square aspect to Saturn. We had that yesterday, Sun square Saturn. Now that aspect is even stronger. There's the Sun at 7.5 Gemini. There's Saturn at 6.53 Pisces. At least that's the situation noon today set for New York. And so that does create a certain sense of frustration. I think probably particularly if you are a man, not so much for women. The reason being is because the sun is a male planet, and so when the sun hits Saturn, it's going to probably affect men more than women. All things being equal, but that is something to bear in mind. Don't expect huge and wonderful things to happen today. Just take it slowly. Enjoy the fact that some of the obstacles from yesterday are starting to ease. Now, as far as other things going on, the Sun and Venus are making a semi-square aspect. They've been making this semi-square aspect for a long time, because at the moment the reason being is because the Sun and Venus are moving pretty much at the same speed. So when they form an aspect, this aspect just continues for days. In fact, I think it continues through most of June. And today, the Sun and Venus are on the Jupiter Hades midpoint. Now, Hades is a hypothetical planet. Jupiter is supposedly a fortunate planet. And Hades, is about criminality, it's about garbage, it's about sleaze. And so when you put Jupiter and Hades together, it can be about gaining things in an immoral way, or it can be enjoying things that are perhaps have a slightly underhand criminal feel to them. And so with Sun and Venus making on a Jupiter Hades midpoint, I mean, okay, we could be attracted to films and books which have a slightly sleazy feel to them. We perhaps want to live out that desire for sleaze and criminality in a vicarious way, in a way that's not going to harm us. That's probably the best way to do it. I suppose that's why people watch horror films and that kind of thing. They don't want to actually get involved. They just want to watch it in a sort of watch it from a distance without taking any risks. But in terms of real life, if you are doing anything dangerous, if you are mixing with dangerous people, be very careful. You might be tempted to do something or to associate with someone which is really not a good idea. So a warning there. I mean, I think for most of us, this Sun Venus on the Jupiter Hades midpoint is not going to be a big deal. Also, Mars is making an aspect to another hypothetical planet called Apollon, and Apollon is relating to art and business. So if we look at Mars and Apollon in the most positive way, this is a good time to put your energy into perhaps being creative, perhaps making business contacts. I know it's a Sunday, and so most people on Sunday like to relax, but if you've got an opportunity to get involved in business, to do something creative, or maybe to do something connected with a musical instrument, I think that Mars Apollon aspect could be very useful. Now, as far as the 12 signs are concerned, here goes. They're going to be a lot more positive than they were yesterday. Aries, it pays to be well organized, quite literally. Once you get the facts right, everything else flows. Taurus, your sense of fun starts to engage, and your sense of humor can move things to the next level. Gemini, you know what needs to be done, and your purposeful behavior is quite appropriate. Cancer, it's much easier to express yourself, and your clever ideas will get attention. Leo, relationships are difficult, and the smallest of compromises may take huge amounts of effort. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because the Sun is ruler of Leo, and it's aspecting Saturn. So it's making a square aspect to Saturn. So unfortunately, that may make it a difficult day for many Leos. Now we move on to Virgo. You're sensitive to other people's needs, and you know what to say. Libra, you're tempted to stray into forbidden areas. Have some discipline. Scorpio, your social life changes for the better, and friends become easier to deal with. Sagittarius, if you're working today, your surprise actions can get things moving. Capricorn, arrogant people are really annoying, but today you can bring them down to earth. The Sun, arrogant people. Saturn, that's you. Aquarius, it's probably best to stick to your own company. Play the diplomat at your own peril. And Pisces, tensions start to ease, kind gestures get returned. So let's now move on to my I Ching reading for today. So the first hexagram I got was hexagram number 37, the family. I'm afraid I don't really like that picture, but it gives you the idea of a family, a traditional family. You know, the I Ching is about a very traditional Confucian way of looking at things. Mother, father, children, they all have their hierarchy. And I suppose 37 is really saying something about it being Sunday. I suppose it's a day when a lot of people spend time with their family. And that's what you should be doing. Stick to what you know. Stick to the structures you know. So that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a literal family, but perhaps it's a network of close friends, whoever you feel comfortable with. And that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be, out and about doing crazy stuff. Stick to that unit. Spend as much time as possible with your family, and understand your duties to your family. It's not about being a star. You have a particular place in your family, and there are particular expectations that you need to fulfill. And if you do that in a dutiful kind of way, then things should be fine, and eventually, you'll get the satisfaction and respect you deserve. And the family moves. The hexagram moves to hexagram number 52, which is the mountain. The mountain is not a particularly interesting hexagram. It's about keeping still. So the advice there is, there's no need to do anything. Stick to your immediate environment, and don't be tempted to go beyond it, because maybe there are going to be some temptations out there which could be dangerous. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say for today, and I will talk to you tomorrow.